OpenLV is looking to deploy decentralised computers at low voltage substations and enabling the data that's collected at those substations to be available to third parties. The platform will help us optimise the deployment of low carbon technologies.
OpenLV is a 3.5-year project with a £5.5 million budget, and the intention is to open up the LV network to all. So the data that we collect can be accessed by a whole range of participants, from community groups to commercial organisations and academics. And the fundamental difference between this and just plain monitoring the network is the concept of putting an operating system in a substation that's a bit like a mobile phone. So people can develop apps independently and then deploy them to the hardware in the substation, and they've got their own apps doing its own thing in a substation using the data that we collect.
The issue with EVs on the network, as the number is growing, is just the capacity. So an electric vehicle is about the equivalent of one house. The problem is that when you come home from work, you plug your vehicle in, you go inside, you switch the heating on, you switch the oven on for dinner, and that makes the peak load very high. And that's the challenge that we're trying to address using the data from the OpenLV project to control those electric vehicles. So what we're doing is looking at the charging profile of the electric vehicle and controlling that so that it only charges when there's spare capacity on the transformer and on the cables. So what that does for the network operators is that it reduces the peak load in the transformers and the cables, and as a result means they don't have to put new bigger cables in the ground. It saves them a lot of money. So what OpenLV has done is it's provided us access to that data. We wouldn't have that data without putting the monitoring in the substation.
We're a community organisation which is buying 2 solar farms. We're able to show people how much energy is being produced by the solar farms using the app that's been developed. It'll show the impact. It actually shows that the local area is going to be carbon neutral in electricity use. Data is very helpful, showing under what circumstances the substation might start to get overloaded if too many people got electric vehicles, and how that can be offset by photovoltaics. It's been a very interesting experience in trying to engage people and getting a feel for to what extent people are aware of what's going on with the very, very rapidly changing electricity supply system. So we talk to people and they really don't know about the amount of renewable energy there already is and how it's going to change in the next few years quite rapidly.
The project with OpenLV actually ties into a wider project, putting smart technology such as battery storage and solar PV in social housing. So the idea is to use smart technology to balance the grid and let the feel poor and vulnerable benefit as being part of the solution. So it was really useful with the project that we could put the equipment in the substation, which is actually on the houses that we've got our equipment in, and link the two together and manage the data accordingly. In a nutshell, what we've learned is it works.
Our objective in the long term is to become resilient and to have our own generator with battery backup.
So the project is actually monitoring only 80 substations out of the hundreds of thousands of substations that are available in the UK. So in the future, if this gets rolled out to those hundreds of thousands, this will be a key enabler for things like enabling net zero targets to be achieved through control of EV charging, smart houses being able to interact with the low voltage network. So different commercial organisations can develop services to enable them to profit from this enabling technology.
All this is about reducing the investment that we will need to make in the electricity network as things like electric vehicles and heating systems and so on come into people's houses. Future services, it's almost limitless. I think it's a huge range of things that we can do in the future with this data.